What's up, everybody? We are live here at the Business Temple where we marry ancient philosophy and modern business. This is your co host, Super Alex.
Hello, Super Alex. Good morning, good afternoon. And this is your co host, Super Ray, ready for the day here at the Business Temple. I can't wait to just go over this topic and speak
Sir.
truth to power. It's Juneteenth, and I'm so ready. It's that weekend, it's that time. Alex, tell them what we're about, tell them what we do, and what today's segment's all about. But
Absolutely.
let's before we do, I want to play them in. Play them in. We could do it in
Yeah,
an
let's do
exciting way.
that. Let's do that. It's an exciting time right now. Over here at the Business Temple podcast, we are consistently live streaming on YouTube, 9 a.m. PT, 12 p.m. ET. Stay consistent with us by smashing that like button and bell button. Get a notification every time we are on. But absolutely, you can count on us to be on every single Saturday. And for this weekend, we are hyping you up with our Juneteenth topic this weekend. And also, happy Father's Day. Yo, I mean,
Yeah,
we
to all the
celebrate
fathers
that
out
as
there.
well. There's a lot of things to celebrate in life this weekend. You know what I mean? But for our topic for today, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. We're going to talk about how you can support Black and minority owned businesses and startups out there. We're going to talk about the history of Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth for those of you who haven't heard of it? I know for me, coming from the Philippines, just having moved back here a year and a half ago, this is something pretty new to me. So, Ray, we about to go to church. We about to educate them all, and let's give them golden nuggets out there. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Oh, so where do we even start?
What is Juneteenth? Let's start from the fundamentals, man. What's Juneteenth? Why is it important for entrepreneurs? And I guess I'd like to really want to talk about what it's like being a minority and what that entrepreneurial journey is like. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get the ball rolling, my boy.
Get it, get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. All right. So Juneteenth. What is it? What's it all about? Well, some call it America's second Independence Day. And
Yeah.
do you want to know why? It's
Mm-hmm.
because that's when the realization hit that we were all free. And the thing is, what's funny about Juneteenth, well, there's nothing funny about it, but what's interesting about Juneteenth and its holiday, it's how it's rooted in the history of our country. Yet it still took so many years for us to understand it and really develop it and make it more mainstream. And it does show the direction that our country is heading, where we are seeing a push for
Yeah.
equality in a level that we haven't seen before, which, I mean, with the people in my community and everybody in the minority community are ecstatic about. There might be other people that are not too ecstatic about it because nobody wants to share a piece of that pie, but we're all in here together. And what Juneteenth celebrates is freedom. Point blank, and end of story. It's freedom for all people, for everyone. And
I love
and
that.
we're all deserving of that. We're all deserving of freedom. It was in 1863 that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, January 1st, and it was in 1865 that Juneteenth became recognized as the day that all the slaves were freed, because the information back then didn't travel across as fast as it does now.
Mm-hmm.
People were free in 1963, but it took 2 years for it to be known in the South, down in Texas, where the people didn't want to liberate slaves because they still wanted to hold that control. And it took them 2 years to find out that they were free. And
Can you imagine that?
To me, that also goes to show how information is so powerful. And those who hold information, and those are the people that keep that information secret and unlock, are the ones that want to maintain those secrets in lock, because that's the way they maintain power. What we're doing here is freeing people, freeing entrepreneurs, letting them know the secrets, unlocking that Pandora's box, unlocking all the secrets when it comes to businesses, because we deserve to know. Minorities deserve to know. How the hell do we free ourselves from poverty? How the hell do we free ourselves from this mindset of negativity, how do we free ourselves in general, not from the inside, but even as entrepreneurs? Let's do this.
I love that, man.
Come on,
Damn.
I'm
Let's
empowered,
go
bro.
to church, baby. Let's go. Oh man, this guy. Yo, you are so passionate about this. Oh my god, I love it. Absolutely love it, man. And just building off your energy and building up on the topic of freedom. I think entrepreneurship is such a freeing experience. Let me know if you agree with me here, Ray. Since you started as an entrepreneur, I know you started Your Voice New York, COVID time, obviously,
Yeah,
and for me, when I started back in 2017, and then continued working on it until now, it's been such an experience that I can't even compare uh, to anything else, really. Once I keep telling people, once you've tasted the freedom of entrepreneurship, it's like nothing else, especially if you do entrepreneurship right, because there's nothing like owning your own time. There's nothing like owning your own learning journey, and there's nothing like just trying to live life by your own terms.
yeah.
And I
Breaking the
think
shackles of oppression.
I
I like breaking the
exactly,
shackles.
exactly, bro. And I believe it's a lot more. I believe it's a lot more than just Juneteenth when it comes to entrepreneurship, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's a lot deeper than that. And so entrepreneurship, I can say, and I'm saying this for the first time, it's a liberating experience. I actually never thought about it that way, but it truly is such
That's
a
why
liberating experience.
there's a, I mean, in this industry and with entrepreneurs, the word financial freedom gets thrown out so many times.
Oh, let's
And
talk
I
about
mean,
that.
we could talk about a little bit about that, but yes, there is a sort of freedom when it comes to doing what you want to do and having that, because you are creative at that point. You're creating, you're problem solving, and you're doing something for yourself. There's nothing more
Yep.
rewarding than doing something for yourself, and then realizing the benefits that have in the long run. When you are entrapped, let's say, in a job you hate, 9 to 5, or a job that you are just required to just do whatever they're told, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
provide you that sense of, I guess, accomplishment that we all seek as human beings. We all want to be proud of what we're doing, and if we're not proud of what we're doing, and we're just enriching the lives of others and not enriching the lives of ourselves, then what
Yeah.
are we doing with our lives? Being an entrepreneur is more about just that journey of self-discovery, a journey of growth and empowerment and finding that freedom, similar to the journey. I don't want to compare it to slavery, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
journey of, let's say, being in a pressed position, going from there to going to a place, once you're an entrepreneur, of freedom, of happiness, of, hey, this is wonderful, I could stop and smell the roses.
I love that, man. Stop it and smell the roses. That's actually something I haven't thought about really in entrepreneurship. A lot of people, and myself included, would think that it's such a fast-paced thing. You know what I mean? You're always busy. You're always doing something. But in reality, if you really think about it and if you really work on it, entrepreneurship will really give you time for important things.
Mhm.
Just like stopping and smelling the roses, whatever that means for you at this moment. So good description you got there, my friend. So
Yeah.
I guess that's why freedom and liberation is important in the entrepreneurial pursuit. Let's talk a little bit about our journey.
Mm,
Minority, working on a startup, what that's been like, and how I guess how that affects uh, entrepreneurship if you are a
yeah.
minority. You know what I mean? I think that's really important to highlight for our people out there today. So, what do you got for us, Ray? What has been
I
your
kind
journey?
I kind of want. I don't know. Maybe I'll let you start because
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear your perspective, and you're coming here from a different country, and then
Yep.
you're getting an outsider's point of view, and I want to see if some of those things that you see line up with the things that I see. So that's why I'll let you take the reins on this. And then one of the biggest questions I want you to answer is, what are the pros and cons of being a minority entrepreneur? Or like what are they?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Strengths
So
and weaknesses, all of that.
let us enlighten.
Yeah.
everyone and ourselves included.
Hmm.
So I did start my entrepreneurial journey in Manila, Philippines back in 2017, and I don't think there are, I wouldn't say that there are any like minority classes over in the Philippines. We're all Asian over there. So, it's just, what I would say though is that I did have feelings like I was a minority because of other things. For
Hmm.
example, number one would be, we Filipinos do discriminate in age. It's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very
Ageism. Oh.
patriarchal, yeah, ageism, and also, but because it's a very patriarchal culture. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
everybody will always trust the older male. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
so when I started out entrepreneurship
Oh, it's not
2017, what is
ageism.
that
Then
like?
it's not ageism. It's more of like, yeah, but
It's like 7 6 7 years ago. I
Mhm.
was what, in late 20s. Who, and then I felt like, who was gonna trust a guy, in
Mhm.
his late 20s, talking about leadership, talking about entrepreneurship, talking about business and all that? Not Nobody did. No one did trust me. No one trusted me at that point, when I started entrepreneurship. And then another thing as well, um, not only was the ageism thing there that made me feel that way, but also it's it's just the, in the Philippines, it's not as open as it is here when it comes to people doing business.
Mm.
So it's a little bit more reserved over there. It's a little bit, people are a little bit more, I wouldn't say go like a go-getter type, or a person who would actually chase their dreams. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it's a little bit different over there. So when you do attempt entrepreneurship, try to chase that dream in the Philippines, generally people would kind of look down on you and not support you. So it's been a journey in that regard. And then coming here, back here rather a year and a half ago, here in California now, started a new business, and brought my businesses from the Philippines to California. I would say my journey has been a little bit of a culture shock, if that's the right term.
Mhm.
Why? Because total opposite of what I mentioned before. There's a lot of support for entrepreneurship over here, and people don't care how old, you know how old you are, or this and that. But I did accrue other problems now. So talking about your question, right, pros and cons of being a minority in entrepreneurship. Now I encountered problems of like skin color. I encountered problems of like, race and all that stuff, which these are problems I actually have never ever encountered before. And so I had to educate myself to be able to navigate, these adversities. And I would say the cons of being a minority, especially if you're a startup owner, is that it's just the lack of support. I feel like it's a lack of support from the people that you need, from people, organizations that you need to be there. And this is
Mm.
something that it's that it is just is, because you were born a certain race, or with a certain skin color, or something like that. And what I would say though, as a pro, is that you ever get that underdog feeling? Well, you know what? This is something that would motivate me more to succeed. This is something that would inspire me more to do better, or to start this journey, because they don't, and you don't, like, they don't expect for you to do it. It's
Mm.
breaking stereotypes. So, I mean, I would love to be enlightened more. I have not. I don't think I have fully experienced. Cause I've been here a year and a half. You know what I mean? I'm back after 17 years. So I don't think I've really fully experienced what it is truly like to experience certain things when it comes to entrepreneurship. You know, but for now, that's what I can describe, my friend.
Wow, Alex, it's interesting how you say that one of the biggest pros is support, and then one of the biggest cons is support.
Hmm.
I wonder if if you knew that is exactly kind of like how you framed it, where coming here you did see a difference that you actually get support from outside, but then also support is being a con when you're a minority. I I I see what you mean in those aspects. It's finding the right support, the people that like count on you, because I think a lot of that mentality,
Hmm.
especially in the US for minority entrepreneurs and people that are trying to start up a business, is that fear that they're not going to have support. They're going to follow this dream, chase after it, spend all their money on it, and then in the background just hear the echoes of negativity where your parents are saying, "Why are you doing this? You should just get a job. Why are you pursuing this? You're going to fail." And that continuous just chatter from friends, from family, no wonder there's just a resistance to just do your own thing. And I mean, I promise you, there's been times where I've experienced that. Like, why am I even doing this? What is the point of all this? If what I'm doing isn't
Tough
really
question.
benefiting, then or making me money, then should I just stop? Should I just what am I doing? Should I listen to those people? And we're here to tell you no. We're here to flat out tell you keep going. Don't stop. Be consistent because no matter what happens, you'll still have the glory that you have created. You've built something and there's zero regrets. Look at take our channel for example. How many subscribers do we have? Like what, a
A,
handful?
a
Friends or
handful.
family?
Yeah, definitely.
And how long have we been doing this? What, over a
Like a
year?
year and a half.
Yeah. And are we, is there any sign of us slowing down? Absolutely not. We're
Yeah.
just having fun along the way and also creating and building and helping no matter what. Because honestly, it's a very lonely and hard road being an entrepreneur. Being a minority entrepreneur, especially, is one of the hardest things that I think anyone can do in their lives. And because I you know my stories. I mean, I've talked about it too. I experienced racism when it
Yeah.
comes to even getting a loan for a house and getting uh, even going to the bank. The experiences I had with just going by myself, where they actually asked me, "How do you have this much money?" or "Where do you get this money?" Where when I came in with Rachel, none of those questions happened.
Hmm.
I was just treated, or the red carpet rolled out for me, and it wasn't questions about, oh, inquiry or like how are you capable or what other things, that questions that you typically wouldn't hear or expect from uh, other people that just white people that would just walk in and then just get service and walk out of the bank with a boatload of money to start their business. It's much more difficult as a black entrepreneur to acquire and secure funding for their business. It's much more difficult to do anything, secure bookings, secure uh,
Right. So
anything, and
so
it's
y-
horrendous.
you know that's what I'm saying. You got support, but you don't got support. You know what I mean? Like people, they want you to like, hey, you know what? I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad you're doing that. You're
It's
moving the
like
needle on this. But at the same time, yo, man, the bank doesn't even want to loan me to get started on that. So
that brother that's
uh,
across the street, and then you're in the getting beat up by a gang, and be like, "I got your back, bro. I got your
right.
back.
Yes. Yes.
I got your back." While you're getting beat up, and he's across the street.
I got your back, bro. Go ahead. I got
You
it.
got this. You got this, bro.
But that's exactly what I mean, man. You know, support is there definitely, but the actual, I think, support really, really needed to to progress things, to move the needle on things. I think really isn't. We're not there yet.
Yeah, I
You know,
believe
and and come to think of it, the way you frame that in everything that you just said, man, like with the example and getting a loan in the bank, I that makes a lot of sense. It's just you've just got more hurdles to jump over as a minority entrepreneur, but that doesn't mean that that you stop trying to strive for your entrepreneurial dreams. That doesn't mean that you should not at least attempt or try because of these things. You know, like I mentioned before, you got that comeback power, you got that underdog energy. You know what I mean? Because no one expects you to succeed.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just something that not only, well, I'm not, the way I frame it in my mind, I'm not trying to prove people wrong, but I'm trying to prove myself wrong. Like, you know what, I can do this. You know, I may not have the certain support that I need right now exactly, but hey, I can be resourceful. I can reach out. I can create community. I can garner the success, the resources and stuff that I actually need without doing it the traditional way.
Hmm.
And I think that's very important for minority entrepreneurs to realize that your creativity on how you you navigate this success and how you gain these resources, that it's just limitless in such a way on how you can do that. You know, and I feel like that's an important path, an important realization too for minority entrepreneurs to really reflect on.
Yeah.
You know, not exactly the can'ts, but what can you do? Because you can actually do so much. You can actually do a lot.
Yeah. And what I would say, and I would encourage a lot of people to do, is to follow the path of some other Black entrepreneurs and how they achieve their success. Uh, Most of the time, I mean, name a handful of Black entrepreneurs. I mean,
Mm.
it's a handful, honestly. When you could recall, like people like Oprah, Jay Z, Beyonce,
Oh,
Rihanna, uh, all all these different, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all
yeah.
these people that just kind of, when you think about them, you think of their success, but you think about how they acquired that success. What are the things that they had to do to acquire that success? And some people, they choose like the path, and most people think that the journey is just one way. Like this is the
Hmm.
only way that I can make money. Is the only way that I would looked at with some sort of respect. But the thing is, we need to start changing that mindset. Entrepreneurs, we're come from different backgrounds, different diversities, and it's important for us to look at what's there and what's, yeah, what we can admire, who are the people we can admire, because there's a lot of books on how to become an entrepreneur. There's not that many books on how to become a Hispanic or Black entrepreneur, and that's because the book has
Boom.
yet been written in stone, where we have other obstacles that other people that don't look at like us don't have to face. And we
Hmm.
have to understand that that's the reality, and I lived in that, I live in that reality. i'm
Hmm.
not I'm not ashamed to say that all the things that I had to do to get to where I am were like, I just had to do them because there was no other path forward. Do I wish it was different for me? Absolutely. Who wouldn't
Yeah.
want the red carpet rolled out for them wherever they show up? But it's not the unfortunate reality we live in. We live in a different reality of that requires us to just do
Work
more,
harder.
work harder, and
Yeah.
it's the sad truth. It's the sad truth. And the thing is, nobody's going to take pity on you. Nobody would care, especially if you're a man. Nobody's going to care. Everybody's going to just look at you, whether you either you succeed or you fail, and
Hmm.
in that regard. And if you fail, then nobody, you're just another person, you're another statistic. If you succeed, now everybody's coming out of the woodworks and saying, hey, I got your back, you were there, I know you from this that, I know you from then, come on man, you got to hook me up. And you're just like, where were you?
Exactly. Where were
Where
you
were
since
you?
day zero, man?
Exactly.
But I do get that. You know, I think I, I think especially for minorities, you know, that the people people want you to succeed but not succeed more than them.
Yes.
You know, and then at the same time, like what you're saying is just it that is the reality of it. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna stick with that, man. That is the real. That is the truth. That is the truth out there. Where we do gotta work harder. We do gotta, you know, learn more, learn faster, and do things better. And that's just the reality of it.
That is so true.
That
Uh,
is just the reality of it, man.
like, let's say someone that you knew for a while starts all of a sudden doing well, starts gaining money, and then you're kind of like, I guess there's a jealousy aspect to it where it's, oh, are they doing better than me? Well, like, do they think now they think they're better than me because they're doing better than me? And that's something
Mm-hmm.
that we need to get rid of. I know in
Mm-hmm.
the Hispanic culture, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of jealousy where, and
Filipino
there's a lot
culture
of
too, man.
envy, a lot of jealousy, and you roll up with a nice car and the person there doesn't have a nice car. It's kind of like, oh, are you doing this to like show off and slap show in my face that i'm I'm better than you, when the reality is we should be celebrating black excellence, we should be celebrating Hispanic excellence, we should be celebrating all
Absolutely.
types of excellence that there is, and be happy and proud of success, no matter what color. I mean, honestly, if you're even if you're white, to be honest, celebrate the
Yeah.
successes of them too. And I I just don't understand why we do this, like that kind of competitive aspect of one another, when the real competitors and the people that we need to be fighting are the people that live in the clouds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's just, especially in Filipino culture. Let me know if you can really relate to this, bro. It's
Mhm.
like we have a thing called crab mentality.
Crap.
So what that means is you kind of, someone will take their pincers and like pull you down. You know, if you achieve a certain type of success, someone will always be there to kind of pull you down, talk shit about you, talk shit about what you did, talk shit about where you're going, just fucking straight up just talk shit. And there's nothing provoking this except you doing you. It's such a, that's why one of the things I was talking about before is just like the support. It's so difficult as well. And I'm not sure how, here, can you enlighten me if you can? I'm not sure if that's the same case here.
We do have a lot
Like
of crabs
where,
in this country, bro.
yeah, where we got people, what, for example, I'm doing my thing, making the ripples in the Filipino community, in the entrepreneurial community. And then the person that I don't expect to try and pull me down is another Filipino. Like, why is that? And so I think that should definitely be directed elsewhere.
It's
you know
honestly, I think it does have to be it roots in a line roots into is fear. That's what I've noticed. For
Mhm,
me, that's what I've
mhm.
noticed is that the people that are actually doing the grabbing and pulling you down are the ones that they themselves are too afraid to do or take that step. Because I noticed when I started doing the videos, when I did my morning, woo, good morning everybody, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, and
Uh-huh.
it did pull me out of my comfort zone, but I was always telling myself, like, I'm doing this, and I don't think anybody else would be willing to do the same thing. That this will kind of makes that pushes me out there. And you, as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that you need to differentiate yourself from everybody else. And moving yourself outside of your comfort zone is the only place where you're going to grow. And the fear of something different, the fear of change, the fear of challenges, to the crabs that are pulling you down, that to them is just unfeasible. They're just there to troll, to provide hate,
The
because
troll.
that's all they know how to do. They don't know anything
Uh-huh.
else but to pull you down into the waters with them, and drag you into the mud. And unfortunately, the entrepreneurs, unfortunately the ones that pay attention to this garbage, are the ones that tend to just put themselves down in a way, and they
Yeah.
care too much of what those people that are dragging them, those crabs that are dragging them down, has to say. You can't let them get to you. You can't let it get to you.
I do understand in that regard, though, that you can't let these people get to you. But then sometimes, bro, the people, or the crabs doing the pulling, man, they're the people closest to you. They're family, your close family, friends, loved ones, mentors. Whoever you can think of that is, that's very close to you. These people will kind of like pull you down, and it's difficult. It's like you're a minority in your own minority community. you know
Chop, chop
so
those chop those crab legs off.
Chop those fucking fingers off, you
That's
know.
it, bro.
And
I've had that similar experience. I had a experience in my family. I cut them off. I cut my entire family out because of the very reason. Because there's people that will do that to you. There's people that will
absolutely,
pull you down, that
that's
will
the
treat you like
reality of
shit,
it.
and you're not deserving of that. You're not. Nobody is.
No, and
No.
I think if you really think about that, it's such an entrapment. You know, it's like you're in prison, or it's like they are in control of your journey, of you, based on their opinions, based on their feedback, and it's like being in prison, you know, and they have the key. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And that definitely is not the freedom and liberating way to do entrepreneurship. I think there's a lot of ways to describe liberation in entrepreneurship, but one thing I'm really getting at here is that mental liberation, which I think is
Yeah.
absolutely important when it comes to your business journey, because it's not just it's not enough to, you know, free your time for yourself from your 9 to 5, this and that, but also be mentally free so you can pursue your passions without, you know, without trying to hold on to the bullshit, to the judgment, to, you know, all these distractions. You know,
Yeah.
I think my main message here is that type of freedom,
Yeah.
where it's not like you don't care. You know, a lot of people say, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I don't care about this and that. I mean, obviously you do. But what I am trying to get at here is what Ray mentioned earlier, is that, hey, you gotta care about what the right people think. You gotta care
Yeah.
about, you know, the feedback of the right people around, feedback of people who have been in the same, or are in the same boat as
Hmm.
you, people who actually genuinely support you, genuinely are happy for you, and sincerely want you to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, and having those people around you, it's such a liberating experience,
And
bro.
I,
I just gotta say, you're one of those people for me, man.
oh man, thank you,
Killing
Alex,
that
bro.
in that regard, dude.
You
I
inspire me
appreciate
too,
that.
Alex. You inspire me too, brother. And one advice I would give is like definitely when you're an entrepreneur, find a mentor. And to your point, Alex, is
Mm,
like, yeah, finding someone that has been in not necessarily similar shoes, because we could find allies in any race or culture, but someone that perhaps within that you see yourself being or being at in 2 to 3 years. That's a great person to have by your side, where you want to be, where you want to go in 2 to 3 years. That's exactly the level I want to be. And those are great mentors. You can have different level mentors where you have someone that's all the way at the top, something you aspire to be in 10 years, but you never judge yourself by somebody else's chapter 10 when you're still in chapter 1. That's something I tell
right.
everyone all the time. You can't just go to the end of the book, read the end, and then understand what happened in the rest of the journey. You have to go through that journey in order to have your own conclusion. It is your story. It is the one for you to build. And then one day you can repeat it and tell it to others and inspire a new generation, because that's what we're here to do. One thing, Alex, I want to end this more, because I know we've gone through the negative aspects, I guess the challenges, but let's
Hmm.
say what are some of the positive things? I want to hear some positive
Oh,
things
I
about being a
love that, man.
minority.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So it's number one, as I want to build off what I mentioned earlier, is just breaking stereotypes.
Mhm.
So nobody expects you to do what you're doing now as an entrepreneur, as a minority
Mhm.
entrepreneur. Nobody would just expect that. And not only would they not expect it, but they definitely not support you. And like I said, having that comeback, that underdog energy, it's such an amazing and such a satisfying feeling, you know, to just get through all that crap
Mhm.
and then make your own sunshine, build your own door of opportunity, you know, find your own resources, be your own creative, you know. And I would say that one of the positive aspects of it, other than that, is just it's an empowering thing to be an entrepreneur. I'm a minority entrepreneur, you know, because once again, not a lot of people think that you're boxed in this one path in life, but here you are, raw dog in life. You know, you're out there, and and you're just doing the complete opposite, or not, maybe not the complete opposite, but just surprising yourself and surprising people out there. Hey, you know what? I'm doing this. And there's such a strong energy in that. There's such a strong passion in an entrepreneurial pursuit, whatever your entrepreneurial pursuit is. And if you're a minority listening to this, I know you know what I'm talking about. That there's just this feeling within where it drives you to work harder, do better, this and that, because that is what you need to do. And so I don't think a lot of people have that kind of drive to succeed. So that definitely is a pro for me, having that drive, having that inspiration, and also
the blood of powerful ancestors flow through us. The blood of people that struggled, the blood of the people that were in the real struggle back in the day where slavery was still a thing. Though that is the blood that we carry. That is the blood of the people that we carry. And we're doing our ancestors a disservice if we continuously belittle each other, and we're doing our ancestors a disservice if we do not become greater than our last generation. And there's no greater feeling in being an entrepreneur and making change. If you want to make a change in this world, you want to make a change in life, become an entrepreneur, or at least adopt the entrepreneurial mindset. You don't have to start your own business, but you need to start something. And I think that's what we all need to do. My final note in all this would be, whether you succeed or whether you fail as a minority entrepreneur, will still look good doing it.
Mm-hmm. I was not expecting that, but damn, that's what's up, man. Yeah, at least look good doing it, right? And at least you did it. Yes. You never have to ask yourself, what if. You never have to have or feel that regret of not pursuing that. I feel like everybody should at least be an entrepreneur once in their life. You gotta at least try it. But as I mentioned earlier, once you experience that freedom, that certain freedom, like y'all know what I'm talking about. It's so addicting. It's so hard to kind of like fit in elsewhere. You know what I mean? Once you experience this entrepreneurial lifestyle and adopting the mindset. I love how you distinguish entrepreneurial journey, being an entrepreneur, or just having the mindset. You don't have to have a business, but you can have the mindset. And yeah, man, that makes so much sense. That's such a powerful thing, and so be free. Entrepreneurship is the way.
Be free,
it's
my
such
people.
An liberating experience.
We emancipated all of you today.
Yes, we did. We went to church, yo. We went to church. Oh, man. All right. Shall we play them out?
Yes.
There we go. Thank you all so much for listening to this special edition episode of the Business Temple. It's all about Juneteenth. And did I mention this earlier? Man, happy Father's Day. I think I did. Happy Father's Day once again. It's going to be tomorrow. And so all the fathers out there listening, keep it going. Keep being an amazing human being for your kids. And let's celebrate freedom this week.
Absolutely. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.